didn't really have much growing up, but I did have a mom, and she gave me a strong foundation. I began playing football at a young age, and I like to say I was pretty good at it. But my mom being my mom, she knew I needed something else. She signed me up for Scouts. I quickly fell in love with the outdoors. I even built a really fast power derby car. It showed me how to take responsibility, how to work with other people, and how to become a leader. That made me a better athlete on the field. In high school, I even broke a couple records. But one of the things that I'm most proud of is I collected donations from my community to support those in need, and that was my Eagle Scout project. It took a lot of time. I wouldn't change it for the world, and a lot of people benefited from it, including me. Scouting made me the man I am today.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our special Wednesday night Cub Scout Roundtable. I'm Vinnie Close, Assistant Council Commissioner for Roundtable Program and Support for Great Trail Council, and we are happy that you've joined us here tonight. We hope you like the new video produced with our new National Scout Ambassador, Eagle Scout and Detroit Lions running back, David Montgomery. Boy, wouldn't he look good in a Browns uniform? If you missed the video of him, he's so proud to be a Scout. He scored a touchdown last year on a Thursday night football game, and his touchdown celebration was to do the Scout sign. Way to go, David. Look for more videos from David as part of the national marketing blitz that's taking place right now on your favorite streaming services. So, we've got a lot of information to share with you over the next hour. So let's start like we always do with the Pledge of Allegiance, the Scout Oath, and the Scout Law. Here to help us lead that are Cub Scouts from Pack 3520 in Hinkley.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty, to guide my country, to obey the Scout Law, to help with other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and irreverent.
All right, thanks, guys. Now, if you have some Cubs that would like to lead us in the pledge, oath, and law, let us know in the chat, and we will contact you after the broadcast to make arrangements. We want to welcome those of you who have joined us online. We're happy that you've joined us. Now, to help us track attendance, share your pack number and city in the live chat. And if you have any questions during the broadcast, let us know, and we'll get them answered either in the chat or live on air. Now, if you have questions about something you've seen during Roundtable, whether it's this episode or a previous one, or you just have a scouting question and you don't know who to ask, let us know. We have a very simple form that we've created that goes directly to me, and it will get your question or problem answered. Now, you can see the address right there on screen to get to that form below, and we may even use your question in a future episode. All right, time now for our safety moment. We move the safety moment to the beginning of our roundtable. At the request of National, they have asked all units and councils and districts, when you do your safety moment at every event, move it up to the beginning. So this is what we're doing. So for this month, it is all about camping safely at the Cub Scout level. This is that time of year when packs may be doing their first camp out of the year in the fall. So camping is a long-honored tradition for many families, including the Scouting America family. Timing, supplies, and location should be determined ahead of time so that you can make the most of your camping experience. There might be some instances where you overthink or underestimate a camping trip, but there are also many ways to join the adventure, fun, discovery, and teamwork that's involved. A Campout safety checklist will help ensure these aspects of camping are accomplished while keeping safe. Now, camping can be enjoyable in almost any area, from right here at Camps Manitowoc, Butler, and Stambaugh, to summer camp, as well as National High Adventure bases, just to name a few. When you decide on a camping trip, you need to consider the who, what, where, when, how, and why. So here are a few items that you can see on the slide to check off on your Campout safety checklist. First, documentation needed. This includes medical records, guidebooks, and permission slips. A scout leader can ensure your safety as well as his or her own when you are both better informed of any limitations, hazards, or permissions. Training. General training, such as youth protection training, now known as safeguarding youth training, CPR and first aid, and hazardous weather, or specific training such as Trek Safely, gives you the confidence to know what to do in the event of an emergency. Planning is important. Become familiar with your campsite location and do some research about the weather, licensing and permit requirements, and project or activity guidelines so you can be prepared. Equipment. Plan for vehicles involved or tools necessary for your camping experience. Also consider trailer requirements and first aid or emergency kits. Emergency planning. A prepared scout is a confident scout. Keep a cell phone handy as well as a list of local authorities such as fire, police, hospitals, and so on, in case an emergency occurs, such as inclement weather or a lost scout. Always a good idea to come back with as many people as you brought with you. And finally, the program. Know your program. There should be age-appropriate activities, safety equipment, proper supervision, and a discussion on potential hazards. All right, so that's our safety moment. Next up is our membership moment. And since it's recruiting season, we're going to cover yard signs and other marketing materials that are available to you and your unit. Now, yard signs, they are a tried and true method of recruitment, especially for Cub Scouts. Yard signs are typically made of plastic or cardboard. They usually measure about 24 by 18 inches, and they've got a wire or plastic frame that enables them to be inserted into the ground. Now, you can make your own sign with artwork that best advertises your unit, or you can use ones designed by us in the council or from the current national Adventure On campaign. Now, the yard signs are generally going to have an open area on it so that the sign can be customized with a permanent marker with your unit's information, such as an open house, a website, or something like that. Remember, when you use that, use a real magic marker and not a Sharpie. A Sharpie won't adhere to the vinyl signs, and it'll just smudge and wash away in the rain, whereas if it's a magic marker, it's going to stick. Now, you can use yard signs to advertise your unit or an upcoming event. You want to order or pick up yard signs from council probably, this says 2 months before your recruiting event, but you can get them a little sooner if you need to. This is going to give you time to personalize them and deploy them before your event for maximum visibility. So if you haven't ordered your yard signs yet for your upcoming join night or open house, you want to get on this right away. Now, you can personalize your yard signs with the location, the date and the time, and also your pack number. If that's too much information for the limited space on the sign, you might want to consider a quick message and or a QR code. The QR code can be produced easily and printed on weatherproof adhesive stock that can link to a web page, your Facebook page if you've got one, a Google form for a sign-up, or just simply a contact name and phone number. As a last resort, you can link to our council's recruiting site, which is allaboutscouts.org. I almost said the wrong thing there. You want to place the signs where people will see them. The front yards of current pack members are great places to start. You can also ask to put the yard signs at schools, libraries, shopping centers, dry cleaners, gyms, just to name a few. Remember, people will be more inclined to take a picture for future use rather than writing down the information, so write the phone number or information with big, clear lettering so that it can be seen from a distance. If it's possible, set up a trackable QR code to get information about how many people visited your site. And if you want something bigger than a yard sign, you can print a banner. You can check with our council here to see if there's any banner templates for your open houses and recruitment activities. You can also go to our recruiting website, which you can see at the bottom of the screen there, gtcscouting.org/recruit. On that page, we have a link to Scouting America's Brand Center. That is where you can get templates, graphics, clip art. You can get banners that you can then go and get professionally printed. All of that stuff is there, and there's a link to it right on our council's webpage. And while you're at it, make sure to ask people how they heard about your event and where the yard sign was. You can use this information the following year to help your recruitment efforts to be more successful. Now, I got a little bit of a show and tell here because I do have some examples of some of the marketing materials that are available. So first of all, we have the big Join Cub Scouts sign. So this is one, you can get this from our council. You can see there's a big white space in the middle there where you can put all of your information, and it also has the link to National's beascout.org website. If you happen to be a troop that is on this broadcast, we do have Join Scouts BSA signs as well. So we have them for both. You can also see here on the wall, I have a second one here as well, but we also have these yard signs that the council has that have been personalized for our council that direct you to our Join website, which, as you can see, is allaboutscouts.org. Now, the council can also produce for you a variety of flyers and other materials. One thing that they have available are these buddy cards. I'll zoom in there just a little bit so you can see what they look like. We have about 10,000 of these cards, so there are plenty to go around. If you need them for your pack, you can just request them. You can contact your district exec or your district commissioner, or contact the council. They'll be happy to get them to you. So the one side has Great Trail Council on it, Scouting America with some Cub Scout stuff, and on the back is a QR code that takes you to allaboutscouts.org. I've heard of a few packs that will use these cards, and they will use them in parades. They will tie a piece of candy to each of these cards, and when they're throwing candy out to the crowd from the parade, they'll have our card attached. I've also seen packs that will use these for a trunk or treat event, where they're handing out candy at trunk or treat, and they'll attach one of these cards to every piece of candy that's handed out to the kids at the trunk or treat event. Now, we also have posters and flyers that can go out. So here's a couple examples of ones you can get from council. This is one of the Adventure On posters, and you can see at the bottom there, there's space for your information, or they use these a lot when they're doing school talks, and they're handing these flyers out to the students in school. They will have all of your information on the bottom. This is another one. This is Scouts BSA related, but you can see here it talks about sometimes the road less traveled isn't a road at all, and it's got some space at the bottom for information on your unit. This is another one for Cub Scouts, and there's also versions of these for Scouts BSA as well. But you can see this one here is just another variant with fillable information at the bottom. And then finally, this is a Scouts BSA version of the Adventure On sign that I just showed a second ago for Cub Scouts, again, with blank space at the bottom for either you to fill it in or council will do it for you. I know I've heard from a lot of packs that have said they didn't even know that this service was available for the council to make up flyers and things for the units. Absolutely. We have a room set aside here at the council office in Stowe with cases and cases of these flyers and posters and banners and buddy cards that they are ready to make for you. So if you've got an event coming up and you want it promoted, they will be more than happy to produce these flyers for you. Just get them the information. The sooner the better, because we've got a lot of units and we need to make sure that we get to take care of everybody. Okay, speaking of new members, you're going to be recruiting new members. They're going to need a uniform. Our friends over at the Scout Shop next door are running a uniform promotion, and we've got a slide on that for you. A couple of things just to mention with this. So if you buy a uniform shirt, you can get the matching bottoms, either shorts or pants, for 10% off on the bottoms. That's running now through December 31st. Or if you buy a complete uniform for Cubs, that consists of the shirt, bottoms, remember, pants or shorts, socks, belt, hat, neckerchief, and slide. Now, if your unit already purchased a neckerchief and slide for you as part of joining, no problem. Just let them know that at checkout. For Scouts BSA, the full uniform consists of shirt, bottoms, socks, belt, and hat. If your unit doesn't wear a hat, let them know, and they can take care of you on that. If you do that route, you can save 20% off of each of those items that make up the complete uniform. And that offer is going until October 31st. All right, and that's happening nationwide at all Scout shops as well as on the website scoutshop.org. All right, time now for our first of two hot topics for tonight. And we're going to continue with the theme of recruiting. You're going to hear this a lot tonight with recruiting, with a video that we have from the National Council regarding putting on recruiting events. with some tips and tricks to help your open houses and join nights. And let us know in the comments how your pack handles its recruiting events. We'd like to hear from you. Presenting this video, it's our old friend Anthony Berger, National Director of Cub Scouting.
I once was visiting a local council office and I came across an extensive library of old Cub Scout training materials from the 1950s. I asked if I could take some back with me to review, and one brochure was really interesting. It was about membership and how to effectively recruit families to join Cub Scouting. The method was a reflection of the time, as it was calling for hand-delivered letters inviting the family to join a pack on a special night. Welcome to Roundtable as we discuss recruitment events. There are several ways to recruit new families into Cub Scouting. In this roundtable, we're going to cover recruitment events that take a coordinated effort between your pack and your local council. Now, every council has a team of volunteers and staff who work for months developing a plan to recruit more Cub Scouts. We're going to share with you the common elements these recruitment plans usually have and things you can do to prepare. We will not be covering getting people to these events or the advertising needed to get people there. To learn more about techniques to advertising your recruitment event, work with your local council and check out the recruitment page on scouting.org. You can get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. The first step of any recruitment plan is to confirm a date, time, and location. This step is something that your council may be doing already based on the relationship with the school district or other community partners. What you can do is to reach out to your local council, preferably through your district executive, and ask what the plan is for your pack. There may be a kickoff meeting where this information is discussed with the Cub Scout packs in your area. If a parent or a group of parents have a good relationship with the school or schools that members of your pack attend, make sure to let your district executive know that and that you'd be willing to help. What you want to avoid is any duplication of effort. You and your district executive need to coordinate contacting any school to avoid miscommunication, which could lead to a failed campaign. Once the date, time, and location are confirmed, it is important to know the membership plan and expectations of your council's membership plan. This will help you understand that what you can do to make the event a success. Now, it bears repeating, knowing your council's membership plan is key before you start. Regardless of the details of your council's membership plan for a formal recruitment event, there are things you can do to prepare. Make sure your pack has things ready to welcome and get new families involved. The two things that have the greatest impact on this are having a pack program calendar and a parent meeting within 10 days of your formal recruitment event. To learn more about developing an annual program calendar, make sure to take the online training module at my.scouting. It's titled Annual Program Planning for Cub Scouting. This 18-minute course is part of the PAC Committee Chair Training and is available for anyone to take. There's also a roundtable video titled Annual Planning Conference that will give you the answer to the question, what makes a great Cub Scout pack? You can view this video by scanning the QR code on the screen. Having a calendar of events and activities in addition to standard meeting dates and times will let new families work Cub Scouting into their current schedule. Formal recruitment events often have a lot going on, and with so much, this is usually not the time to get into the details of your pack operations. This is best done at a parents' meeting that is done within 10 days after your formal recruitment event. What this parents' meeting looks like has a lot to do with the culture of your pack and what type of pack community you have or are trying to build. To learn more about getting parents involved, there's an online training module titled Involving Adults in Cub Scouting. Now, this 9-minute module is part of each of the position-specific training tracks found on my.scouting. For additional support, check out the roundtable videos titled Getting Parents Involved, Everyone Volunteers, and Parent to Leader. You can find these videos along with all the other Cub Scout Roundtable videos by scanning the QR code that's on the screen. Now, here are additional resources that you may find useful. Welcome New Cub Scout Family brochure. Welcome New Leader brochures. We also have resources on the PAC committee page, and you can get them by scanning the QR code on the screen. We just covered 2 operational items to support your PAC's formal recruitment event. However, there's one thing that is the most important item, and it isn't found on a calendar, a website, or even a video. Preparing yourself and the others in your PAC to be friendly and welcoming is the #1 factor in a successful recruitment event. Think of these 2 situations. One is where the PAC has checked all the boxes and the PAC has a calendar, it has a parent meeting scheduled, and all the support materials needed. But when a new family member walks in, they're not greeted. They're told to be quiet, to sit down. They see other adults and kids glued to their phones. And the other situation is where you may only have a calendar for the next 2 months, not the whole year. You didn't print it, but it's on your PAC website. You don't have a stack of papers with all the details of your PAC, but when a new family walks in, they're greeted at the door with a sincere welcome and are instantly engaged in a conversation about who they are and are told how much fun you and your child have in the program. They are told how you are looking forward to getting to know them, and they see adults who are engaged in conversations with each other. People enjoy being with each other. In our first example, the PAC may have done everything by the book, but those things are strategic. It is your PAC's culture that will drive real success. There is a book by Kurt Kaufman and Kathy Sorensen titled Culture Eats Strategy for Breakfast. It is true in business. It's also true for your PAC. All right, now it's your turn. Consider these questions to discuss with your fellow leaders. What is your council's membership plan for formal recruitment events this year? What are some of the strategic things your PAC does for formal recruitment events? What kind of culture does your PAC have? How much effort do you and your fellow leaders spend on trying to build a PAC community versus completing a to-do list? All right, that's it for this roundtable. I hope you found it useful. We'll see you next time.
All right, thank you, Anthony. Now, we want to let you know, if you go back through our archives of previous broadcasts, in our September 2024 roundtable broadcast, so 1 year ago, we had some guest Cub Masters present to talk about how they do recruiting in their PAC. So hopefully, if you go back and watch those clips, there's some good tips that you can pick up from that. There's nothing wrong with going back and checking out our archives on gtcscouting.org. All right, up next, I want to bring on our guest for tonight. He is our babysitter for tonight. Whenever we do a broadcast here at the council office, we always have to have a staff member present. So our guest tonight is Stewart Smith. He is, why don't you come a little closer to me here so you're on. There we go.
There we are.
There we go. Stewart is our council activities director.
That's correct.
And you're relatively new to our council, about 6 months, is that right?
March 18th.
March 18th, so just about 6 months.
Yep.
Welcome.
Thank you.
A formal welcome for you. You came to us from the Black Hills Area Council in South Dakota.
That's correct.
And what was your position out there?
I was the council program director.
Okay, so pretty similar to what you'll be doing here. But you're actually from this area, right? You're from south of here.
Yes, I grew up in Salem, Ohio. I went to Akron U. I'm a Zip. I was gone for 27 years, and I'm back. Really happy to be back in this area.
Does Nate the Kent grad give you a hard time about that?
Sometimes, but I think we're starting to outnumber Kent grads in the office because some of them have taken other jobs. So we're slowly outnumbering them. So I'm happy with that.
That's good. So you are the activities director.
Yes.
And that basically means that you're going to be involved in planning pretty much every activity except for summer camp. Is that right?
Summer camp and Cub resident camps, and some activities that are part of the program.
The adventure fee.
Adventure fee that deal directly with camp, like the hikes and the pool parties. But other than that, everything falls with me.
So that's going to cover Klondike Derby for Scouts BSA, the freeze-outs for Cub Scouts.
Correct.
The district Klondikes, the merit badge workshops that Scouts BSA does.
So the ones that we do council level.
The council one.
The district ones are still in the district.
District ones are still district.
But so all the council level events plus training, wood badge, all that stuff all falls with me.
And then there's 2 events that you're also planning, which is why we're having you talk tonight.
Correct.
Because they are Cub Scout events. They are the Fall Festival and Hayrides and Cub Fest 2025. These are both existing events. I know it says new event on my cue card there, but Cub Fest is an existing event. A lot of big changes with the Fall Festival and the Hayride. So if you've done the haunted Hayrides before, it's a big change. So why don't you talk about what's different this year as opposed to what if you've attended in previous years?
So it's all on one weekend this year. That came from talking to volunteers and some scouts that said having it spaced out over 4 weeks was a lot of time commitment for volunteers.
Sure.
So they wanted to try and get it to one weekend. And we looked at what was the best, and that was the best weekend because looking past events, that was the weekend that had the highest attendance of all the weekends.
Okay.
We also had some people that said a nighttime event for young kids is not always a great thing. So they would like to have seen some things where they could come out during the day. So we still have 4 sessions where you can ride the Hayride, but now it's broken up to there's a Friday night session, a Saturday daytime session, a Saturday night session, and a Sunday daytime session. So you can pick the time that best fits you and your family.
And if I remember, attendance is capped at 400 per
400
session?
per session. The biggest one we had last year was 391 people. So we capped it at 400, thinking that, and they said that was a comfortable number, so we don't want to overburden camp or overdo
sure,
it.
and you don't want to make it such that you're there for 5 hours waiting to go on a hayride.
Correct, yes. And it switched sides. So it used to be at Butler, and it's now going to be at Manitowoc.
Yeah, so talk about because if we've been to this before, we know what the program has been like.
Correct.
At Butler. How is it going to be different over at Manitowoc?
So one of the benefits is we can open the trading post, and we can also sell food. Manitowoc has a food license, so we can actually sell food and bring stuff in to make the event more family friendly.
So now it's going to be more than just popcorn and donuts.
More than popcorn and donuts, yes.
Okay.
So we'll actually have stuff out there for people to eat.
Okay.
And buy. So we're hoping that we get people out there. It's going to be a great event. And again, just like all the years in the past, it'll happen whether it's rain or shine.
Yep, rain or shine
Or
or moonshine, depending
Yes.
on the time you're out there. So talk about obviously there's going to be hayrides. Is there going to be the haunted aspect? Are there going to be all the decorations that have been
There
there
will
in the
be
past?
decorations out there. They're revamping some of them. They're also looking to bring in apple cider, pumpkin patch, face painting. So they're looking to bring in a whole bunch of stuff to make it more of a family event where
Okay.
you can just go do a lot of things.
Any other activities? Are there going to be any games or anything that could be going potentially?
There are games. There'll be games out there. There's all kinds of stuff planned. So
Okay.
it's going to be a really fun family event. And it's all on one weekend. So you don't have to try and figure out over 4 weeks when
Right.
you're going to come out to camp.
So it's at Camp Manitowoc.
Correct.
If you're coming out, where at camp specifically is everything taking place?
So it's pretty much all going to be centered around the dining hall, in the parade field, and the first aid.
and the first aid, the
pavilion.
health lodge. Okay. So parking is going to be wherever.
It's going to be all in the main parking area, and if we have too many people, we're going to park some people down by the Geiger ball pit and over in there.
Okay.
So.
All right. So we'll talk about this in a few minutes. We've got a slide coming up on covering all of the upcoming events, but yeah. So that's coming up, and that is the weekend of.
October 17, 18, 19.
There you go. It's the middle weekend of October. Lots of fun. If you've ever been out to the hayrides before, you know what a great time it is. And it's going to be an even better time now because we're doing all these other activities. Plus, we got day sessions.
Correct.
So for those littles that you're worried about them being up past their bedtime, you can have them come out for a day session. For those siblings and the lions and tigers that might be on the little side and can't really stay up late. And if I remember right, as long as you are in line at least 1 hour before closing,
you will get a
you will
hayride.
get a hayride.
Absolutely.
Even if it goes past closing.
Even if it goes past
you'll
closing.
still
That's why we put a 3-hour gap between the sessions, because we want to make sure if you're in line at 3 o'clock and the session ends at 4, we want to make sure you get on the Hayride because that's really what you're there for.
All right. All right, so let's talk about the next event, which is coming up in November.
Correct.
It's called Cub Fest.
Yep.
I think you had another name for it.
So
too.
it's the Cub Adventure Day. It's
Okay.
part of the adventure program, and so it's a free event for every scout, new scouts, current scouts, and if you're bringing people that would possibly like to join scouts, bring them out. So it's a free event. It'll be happening at Manitowoc and at Camp Stambaugh. So you can go to either one, register yourself, bring a friend. There's a golden ticket going out for all new scouts so that they will know about the event, so to encourage them to come. So it's going to be a great day, and it's going to be from 10 to 2, so 4 hours, and it's going to run kind of like a day camp.
Okay.
So
Talk about some of the activities that they'll be.
well, it just depends on what the day camp committee is putting together. They're meeting in next week
Okay.
to talk about all that stuff. But it's going to run just like day camp. There'll be craft areas. There'll be hiking. There'll be all kinds of stuff to just get you experience of what you can do at camp and have fun. And then they're going to start promoting next summer's day camp and Cub resident camp and say, if you had fun here today, this is what's happening
You
next
come
summer.
back and you can do this for an entire week.
Right,
at day
correct.
camp. That's
Yep.
great. And you said it's free.
It's free.
Do they need to register in advance or
They
anything?
do need to register
Okay.
just so that we know how many people are coming.
Okay, and we'll have that link a little later on in the show for you to take note on. And like you said, it's free for everybody.
free for everybody.
Although I thought it said, correct me if I'm wrong, that people that aren't in scouting, there's a small charge.
There's a small charge for them because we have to cover their insurance, and they're not registered, so we need
There
to
you
cover
go.
their insurance.
That's why.
But everyone else that's already registered, it's free for you.
And we forgot to mention it earlier, the Fall Festival and Hayrides, it's $10 per person if you register in advance and $12 at the
$12
gate,
if you walk in the door.
provided that there's open space.
That there's room. Yeah, and we will post. So if a session fills up, we will post that it's closed for no walk-ins. So.
Okay. All right. Anything else about either of those events? Is there any other events
No,
coming up that you want to talk about?
I'm just really excited. Scouts BSA, there's an Merit Badge College coming up, but we can talk about that at another roundtable.
Yep, we'll have that. We'll be talking about that.
But there's a lot of stuff going on for the council and a lot of exciting things happening. So it's a really good time to be a scout.
Yeah,
and a great
we're
council.
happy to have you here. You were in our marketing meeting earlier this morning. We got a lot of great ideas of some really awesome stuff that you
that I was part of.
that you did out in South Dakota. We don't have a Mount Rushmore here in Northeast Ohio, but we've got the Rock Hall and we've got the Football Hall of Fame. So those are some cool things.
And we have the Akron Zips.
And we have the Akron Zips. Yeah, we'll try and get Zippy on camera for an interview or something.
That
maybe.
would be fantastic.
That would, yeah. All right. Well, Stuart, thank you for
Thank you
coming
guys
out.
so much.
We appreciate it. Lots of good stuff happening here in Gray Trail Council.
Absolutely.
All right. Time now for our second hot topic. And we're going to continue with our recruiting theme. And we're going to present a video to talk about welcoming new families. You've heard it numerous times that a new scout joins your pack or troop, but the parents never feel welcome, or they really don't know what to do, or who to ask, or how this whole scouting thing is supposed to work. So this video will hopefully help you prepare families with that. Now, if you go back through our archives, at our October 2024 roundtable, we had a presentation from our own Reverend David Wyrick from here in Gray Trail Council, who talked about the importance of creating a welcoming environment in your pack. So go back, check out that presentation. It's a great 5-minute video. It's going to give you a lot of great tips on making your pack a welcoming environment to families. Now, here to present this national video once again is Anthony Berger.
My first job was when I was 13 years old. Once a week, I would go to a kid's clothing store and unpack t-shirts and hang them on the racks. My payment was simply a t-shirt. Not just any t-shirt, an Ocean Pacific or Lightning Bolt t-shirt. Now, that was cool, and it was the only way I could ever afford a t-shirt that was $12. In today's money, that's about $33. Since that time, I've had countless part-time jobs growing up, and in my career, I've had the opportunity to work in several councils. In all those experiences, the one thing is always the same: the first day. Welcome to Roundtable. I'm excited to have you with us. The topic this time is welcoming new families. The first day on the job, you're nervous and excited, and you have yet to experience the culture of the company you're working for. That first day often sets the tone, and a positive experience can get you through future challenges. A bad first day, where the energy is negative and you start thinking perhaps this was a bad decision, well, let me start off by saying that many of our Cub Scout packs do a great job. In fact, over 80% of our Cub Scout families say that they feel like they belong in their pack. So you may ask, if we're doing such a good job, why do we need a roundtable session about it? Well, just like a pocket knife, the more we use it, the more we need to sharpen it. Consider this roundtable as an opportunity to sharpen your knife when it comes to welcoming new families. We won't cover official recruitment events or how to get people to those events. This is a focus on the first several interactions a new family has with your pack. So, step number 1 is to create a culture of fun and friendship for adults and parents. Often in Cub Scouting, we talk about making it fun for Cub Scouts. For this session, consider how to make things fun for adults and parents. When parents see leaders and other adults having fun and developing friendships, it becomes the single largest motivator for them to want to stay involved and perhaps be a leader. Take your monthly pack committee meeting, for example. Don't call it a pack committee meeting. That name alone sounds boring. Instead, have a monthly parents meeting. That name change alone creates a very welcoming message. Is the location welcoming and perhaps even fun? Consider having it outside. Is there a way to make it fun? Have a come as you are policy instead of uniforms. Maybe it's on the weekend instead of a busy school night. Now, here's the real trick to making it fun. Know your parents and ask what they like to do. Don't be discouraged if not everyone shows up every time, but make this monthly get-together something that parents look forward to because they get something out of it. A tip from the experts. Make sure that you focus on the business of the pack during these meetings. If this only becomes a social event and the business of the pack gets ignored, it will have very negative consequences. All right, so now, step number 2 is to have new parents welcomed and onboard into your pack. If your unit has a new member coordinator and welcoming team, this is their role. Now, I know what you may be thinking, another leadership position to fill in my pack, but here's the good news. You probably already have this person or several of these people in your pack. Don't worry about this as an official position. Think of it more as what needs to be done is to welcome parents, and that can be done by more than one person. Who are the most outgoing and friendliest adults in your pack? Welcoming families into your pack should be a fun activity and something easy to do. Adults who are naturally outgoing and friendly are usually happy to take this role on officially. This is also a great topic to bring up at one of your super fun parent meetings. What could your pack do to go over the top to welcome new families when they join? Perhaps thinking of your experiences outside of scouting that really made you feel welcomed will help spur some ideas. Brainstorming these ideas at a parents' meeting will lead to some great ideas that you can put into practice. Now, our third step is to have a defined minimum level of participation from all parents. This answers a very important question. What do you expect from a parent? Expecting every parent who joins to become a fully trained registered leader is an unrealistic expectation. Yes, we need parents to serve as leaders, but for those who don't have the right skill sets to be a leader or don't have the availability, what expectations do you have of them? Are these expectations clearly defined? Consider these 3 levels of involvement for parents. The first level is being an active parent and just helping out. What level of participation do you expect from every parent? For some packs, it may mean that each parent is expected to assist with at least one pack activity, such as Blue and Gold or Pinewood Derby. Knowing what each parent is good at will help bridge their talents with tasks that you need help with. This is where the parent talent survey comes in handy and the parent orientation meeting. Now, the next level is being a registered volunteer. This means that a parent is willing to complete an adult application and be registered with the pack. At this level of involvement, parents primarily are focused on the tasks that directly impact their child and family, and that's okay. Don't expect everyone who's a leader to automatically care about everything scouting. Registered volunteers get access to more tools in Scout Book and are officially members of the BSA. Now, the third level is being a leader. And I purposely refrained from using that word leader in the previous level because being a leader means going above and beyond. This is a level where parents start to care about scouting outside of the impact it has on their own family. They start thinking about the good of the pack as a whole and the long-term success of the program. Now, these levels help us realize that every parent can contribute at different levels and that we appreciate everyone who helps out. Think back to the first step of building a culture of fun and friendship. Not every parent has a home or work life that allows them to volunteer. This doesn't make them less valuable. In fact, they may feel a little guilty that they can't contribute. And this negative feeling may lead to them dropping out of scouting altogether. A way to prevent this is to make it fun for them when they can participate and let them know that you're glad that they are part of the pack. Our last step can now be completed. Once we have a fun and friendly culture, we have 1 or 2 people who can welcome new parents, and we have a minimum level of expectation for parents. It's now time to put a plan of action together. Now, write down all the things that a new parent needs to know when they join. Now take that list and prioritize it. By prioritizing it, you may discover that there are some things that they need to know right away. For example, new parents will need to know how to sign up for the October Campout and how to get to the camp, but they may only need to know the date and cost for right now. Once you've brainstormed all the things that a new parent needs to know to get completely acclimated into your pack, build a timeline of when that information is given to them. Do not put everything a parent needs to know in a welcome packet and expect them to review it all. Start your timeline with before they join. What basic information does a parent need to know about your pack before they join? The most basic information would be when and where do you meet? The information that you label as before they join should all be information that is on your pack website and social media pages. How long your timeline is will be up to your pack. Now, a tip from the experts on the subject of communications is make communications singular in topic. For example, avoid emails that have all the information from the next 3 events along with the parent talent survey, the camping registration link, and the direction of the scout shop and so forth. That's a lot. The subject line should be direct and specific, and the content should only be about one thing. Remember, you can set up meeting notices ahead of time in Scout Book. And remember these 4 steps. Make it fun for parents, have an official greeter, develop a minimum level of participation for parents, and lastly, create your timeline of information. All right, now let's take time to discuss and share ideas with each other. Take time now to consider these questions. What could your pack do to make it more fun for parents? What minimal expectations do you set for your pack's parents? How do you communicate those? And what other methods could get and keep parents involved? All right, that's it for this roundtable. I hope you found it useful. We'll see you next time.
All right, thank you, Anthony. Up next, we want to share the calendar, we want to take a look now at upcoming events. That's what we want to look at first. We've got a slide for that to talk about some of the events that are happening. First up is our Cub Scout Range and Target Activities events. These are part of the Adventure program, so they are free. And they are running weekends now through October 11th at Camps Manitowoc, Butler, and Stambaugh. Again, this is part of the Adventure fee. It's a free program. Next, this is being put on by the Soaring Eagle District, but it is open to all units council-wide, and it is the Outdoor Cooking Expo and AOL Troop Visit. So this is on September 28th from noon to 3 on Medina Square in Medina. You can meet many troops in the area in one spot. They're inviting all the Arrow of Lights to come out and check it out. For the troops, this is a big Dutch oven cook-off challenge. So if you want some great free food, come on out and taste some of the wares. We commissioners are going to be out there, and we're going to have our own Dutch oven cook-off that we'll be doing, so you can see how the grown-ups can compete against the kids. Up next, we talked about it with Stewart a minute ago, but our 2025 Fall Festival and Hayrides on October 17th at Camp Manitowoc. Mentioned $10 per person in advance, $12 per person at the gate, provided there are still some open spots. You've got 4 sessions over that weekend to pick from. Each session is limited to 400 attendees. And as long as you are in line by 1 hour before the end of the event, you will get a hayride. Up next, also another event being hosted by Soaring Eagle District, but this is open to the entire council. And this is the Bigfoot Hike and Seek Challenge. You get to meet Bigfoot. The big walking carpet himself will be present at the Hike and Seek Challenge. This is on October 18th, so it's the same weekend as the Fall Festival and Hayrides, from noon to 2:30 out at Camp Manitowoc. Again, open to the entire council. Now, there are hikes of varying lengths that you will take depending on your program level. For Cub Scouts, that's going to be about a half mile to a mile in length. Nothing big, pretty flat terrain, nothing very strenuous. And there's going to be brief challenges along the way. If you complete the hike with your team, there are prizes that you're going to get. People are going to get medals, and there's food at the end, because as we all know, the 13th point of the Scout Law is a Scout is hungry, always. It's $10 per person for this. That covers the cost of the medals and the food, but it is a great time. This is the second year that they have done it. They had a lot of people last year. They're expecting even more this year. Plus, you get to meet Bigfoot. And then finally, on November 15th is Cub Adventure Day, also known as Cub Fest 2025, from 10 to 2. It says Camp Butler on there, but it's at Camp Manitowoc. Stewart's nodding his head yes over there. And at Camp Stambaugh. And it is free for Cub Scouts and their families as part of the adventure fee. And you can bring a friend for only $5 per person, and that, as Stewart mentioned, is to cover the insurance for them, since they are not registered members. And there's going to be all sorts of activities kind of themed around what you would expect in a mini day camp session. All right. Up next, we have some updates to the membership and unit renewal process for this year that we want to share with you, that we promise will make things easier for you. So let's look at that slide to share with you the details on what to expect. Starting with membership renewal. The adventure fee is now going to be paid at the time of your membership renewal. It will not be a separate collection by the unit. So whenever you do your membership renewal, if you're a youth member, you will pay your adventure fee at the same time that you're paying your national registration fee. We want to point out that there are assistance programs available for both the registration fee and the adventure fee. If you go to the web link at the bottom of the screen there, you can get access to the form that you can fill out to request that campership assistance. Now, the big change is the unit renewal. That has improved for 2025, we promise. The 2025 unit renewal window is going to open on November 1st for units. If you notice in the second bullet point there, it says, there is a $125 late fee that will be imposed on units if you have not renewed by December 12th. So you've got about 6 weeks from when the window opens to verify your rosters and turn in the $100 in the unit renewal fee. Otherwise, there will be a $125 late fee. We want to point out, this is pretty much affecting most adults in our council. If any of your members hold multiple positions or registrations, they must renew their membership themselves in order to retain all the multiple positions and registrations. We'll use me as an example. I am registered as an assistant scoutmaster with a Boy Scouts BSA troop and a Girl Scouts BSA troop. I'm also a merit badge counselor, and I'm an assistant council commissioner. If I were to let my troop re-register me, I would only be re-registered with the troop, and all of those other multiple registrations would get dropped on December 31st. You don't want that to happen, so you want to make sure that you yourself do the membership renewal yourself if you're a multiple, which is going to be the case for the overwhelming majority of adults in Great Trail Council. Now, the other thing to note is, if you are a traditionally chartered unit, meaning that you are still chartered to a chartered organization, the VFW, a local church, a PTA, whatever that happens to be, you are not going to have any paperwork that you're going to need to turn in. There used to be the paperwork that you would have to get your institutional head, your IH, being the pastor of your church or the president of the VFW or whatever. That is now going to be handled by the district executive. That's going to be separate from the unit renewal. You don't have to worry about it. The only units that are going to have to worry about doing any paperwork turn-in are units that are chartered to Great Trail Council. If you go on the website that you see at the bottom of the screen, all of those documents are there. Have they been updated yet for 2025, or are they still working? They'll be updated soon. So well before November 1st, they will be updated with 2025 versions of those documents. The things like renewal on your insurance on your troop trailer if you've got one, turning in your inventory and stuff like that. But that'll be done well in advance of November 1st when the window opens to re-register. Now, support is available. If you need help, you can contact your unit commissioner, your district commissioner, or your district executive. If you need help with the renewal process, if you have members that need more financial assistance than your unit can provide, they're there to help. What we want to point out is, please do not contact the council registrar directly. Let's not overwhelm Jody. She's going to be busy enough as it is processing stuff. We don't want to bombard her. Let's use your commissioners as an intermediary to get those questions answered. If you have any questions about any of that stuff, go ahead and contact them. And as you can see at the bottom of the screen there, gtcscouting.org/renew. That is what you need to know as far as the website goes. We want to also point out that in terms of payments, you can still pay by credit card. Just remember that there is a 3% processing fee if you pay by that method that will get charged to you. It's not something that the council eats the charge on. Now, if you remember last year, if any of you did payment by ACH, it was not good. It was a little bit of a nightmare. So we are not doing payment by ACH this year because there were just too many issues with that method. But there is an e-check option available where you can pay by electronic check. You basically put in your checking account information, your bank account info, and you can pay that way. The nice thing about that is there are no processing fees. You can also do this payment if you're doing reservations for camp and you're making a camp reservation at one of our camps. You can use that payment method and there's no fees incurred by that. All right, if you got any questions on any of that you'd like us to get answered, let us know in the chat, or as we said, let your local commissioner know and we'll be happy to get back to you on that. All right, up next, we want to share the calendar of upcoming training to make sure you have them on your pack and den calendars to save the date. Coming up first is Baloo training, Basic Adult Leader Outdoor Orientation. It is October 11th and 12th. It is an overnight camp out at Camp Manitowoc. This is free. It's part of the adventure fee. The thing to point out with Baloo training for the packs, every Cub Scout overnight program that you do, regardless of where you do it, must be attended by a Baloo trained adult. It is always a good idea to have more than one Baloo trained adult because if there's an emergency that comes up and that Baloo trained adult has to go home and you don't have anybody else, you have no choice but to cancel the rest of that camp out. So it's always a good idea to have multiple people trained. Again, that's October 11th and 12th at Camp Manitowoc. Up next on October 25th is Cub Scout Rangemaster training. That's from 9 to 5 at Camp Stambaugh, and that is free. We are still in need of Rangemasters. We have a lot of Cub Scout range and target activities coming up at the end of this year as well as all of next year, and we need a minimum of 6 Rangemasters for every one of those sessions. The more that we have, the better. That way you're not stressed as to needing to do as many sessions. The next day, on October 26th, if you have any den chiefs or you have any Scouts BSA members that are interested in being a den chief for one of the dens in your pack, there's training coming up for it. It's free, again, as part of the adventure fee. This is October 26th from 1 to 5 at St. Stephen's Lutheran Church in Stowe. Let your den chiefs know about this and get them signed up to learn how to be an awesome ambassador for scouting. Finally, we have 2 events on the same day at the same location. We have the University of Scouting and the College of Commissioner Science. They are both on November 8th from 7:30 to 5, and that is going to be held at Walsh Jesuit High School just down the road here in Cuyahoga Falls. Some things to point out for this: there's over 100 different classes and sessions that you can take while you're there on everything from knot tying to how to put on really awesome den meetings. A couple of the important things that are being done is there is going to be position-specific training being offered for all positions. So, den leader, cub master, assistant cub master, committee member, scout master, assistant scout master, all of the classroom training will be offered at the University of Scouting, as well as CPR training. So if you would like to get CPR trained or you need your CPR training to be recertified, you can do that at the University of Scouting. It is only an additional $15 to do that. I'm CPR certified and my work pays for it, and I know they pay more than $15 per person to do CPR training. So this is a great way to get it done, and it's only going to cost an additional $15. The cost to attend either the University of Scouting or the College of Commissioner
This
Science
Labor Day,
is
we
$35
celebrate
per
you,
person.
the volunteers,
And-
leaders, and supporters who are the backbone of Scouting
Close the
America.
closing video.
Your time, energy, and commitment are
There we go. Okay, sorry about that. We jumped ahead on the video. Yeah, so it's $35 per person. That includes breakfast and lunch. So you are going to get some stuff out of it. When you go to register, you'll have the opportunity to pick your classes. I believe there's 7 different sessions you can do. If you're a commissioner, we'd love to have you come to the College of Commissioner Science. We have, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Sherry, we have the Territory Commissioner is coming to do a keynote address at that, so you'll get a chance to meet Scott and hang out with him. You can also come out the night before. We have our Commissioner's Dinner out in Fairlawn. You can come to that as well. But they're both great events. Go ahead and sign up for them and get trained. Every scout deserves a trained leader. This is a great opportunity to get a lot of stuff done, and you can do a lot of networking too at these events. You sometimes get as much out of these events just talking to other scout leaders as you do from the training course itself. All right, well, that is going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank everyone for watching and to thank you, our guests tonight and everyone who helped behind the scenes. Now, we want to let you know we're making some changes to the roundtable format going forward, as we are now going to alternate months for a virtual roundtable between Cub Scouts and Scouts BSA. That means that our next Cub Roundtable will be here on YouTube Live in 2 months on Thursday, November 6th. And our first Scouts BSA virtual roundtable will be next month on Thursday, October 2nd, right here on YouTube Live. And as always, you can get archived videos on our YouTube channel as well as on our website at gtcscouting.org/roundtable. Now, to close out tonight, you saw a sneak preview of it a few seconds ago. We have a video from Roger Krone, the Chief Scout Executive of our National Council, with a Labor Day message for all of us, since Labor Day was just on Monday, as well as with recruiting season in full swing. We've also got a video that we have tacked on that your unit can use in promotions and social media, as it is customized just for us in Great Trail Council. Feel free to use it and all of the other resources that we have for Great Trail Council as you like on your social media and at promotions, at open houses and join night events. Thank you for all you do for scouting. If you're going to this council gala tomorrow night, I'll see you there. Otherwise, we'll see you on the trail. Good night, everyone.
This Labor Day, we celebrate you, the volunteers, leaders, and supporters who are the backbone of Scouting America. Your time, energy, and commitment are shaping the next generation of leaders. When you think of scouting, you may picture camping, knots, or community service. skills that help young people grow. But behind every success is your dedication to safety, fun, and the needs of today's youth and families. So on this Labor Day, thank you for all you do from all of us at Scouting America.
You wonder how they're going to find their way, how to get them ready for the times you won't be there to help, how to help them to be strong enough, brave enough, mentally sharp, moral. They need confidence without arrogance.
That was awesome.
Skills without screens for the world beyond school and sports. Ready for emergencies, for challenges, for whatever the world throws their way. Prepared with what they have in their heads and hearts. What they can do with their own two hands. What they can do working with others and by putting others first. They need social without the media. A way to experience the real world in real safety. A place to be challenged without being overwhelmed. A safe place to explore the world and imagine what's possible for them in it. Where all kids are welcome and everyone has a path forward to new skills, advancement, leadership. Where their individual effort can create something invaluable. Something they will carry with them the rest of their lives.